Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah barakatuh alhamdulillah. Let's get to the point.
Grass is very naturally processed and turned into milk, far away from any filth. The animal simply processes useful elements of its food and turns it into There's a sign of Allah. Number 7. Sperm comes from between backbone and ribs. Where does sperm come from? Does it come from the belly, breasts, ears, eyes? We know it comes from testicles. But according to the Quran, it comes from between backbones and ribs. Because what the Quran says is clearly nonsense, there are some theories on what this verse could actually mean. The text says that a gushing fluid, of which man is made, sperm, comes from between backbones and al-Taraibi. Some interpretations plate with this last word, but fundamentalists and others agree that this refers to the man's ribs. So sperm comes from between backbones and ribs, which is complete nonsense. Some modern apologists desperately try to say that this is not only accurate, but also a miracle, by claiming that the tissue that forms our testicles, which form our sperm, originates from the loins. But not only is there no such theory, that would also be a very far reach, equal to saying, I eat with my butt.
Stop right there. You just heard the apostate prophet, the man who built a career on being the intellectual who left Islam, claim the Quran made a massive scientific blunder. He says the mention of the backbone and ribs in relation to fertility is a 7th century myth. But before we look at his science, let's look at his track record. This is the same apostate prophet who spent years as a hardcore atheist, mocking the very idea of God, only to flip-flop and announce he's a Christian now. He spent his life searching for a foundation because his knowledge clearly isn't giving him peace. The apostate prophet calls himself an expert, but he's the same guy who famously couldn't even answer how many raka'at are in a basic prayer. If you haven't even mastered the ABCs of the faith you left, why should anyone trust your PhD level critique of its science? Apostate prophet, you say the backbone has nothing to do with male reproduction? You claim Muhammad was just copying ancient Greeks? It looks like your free thinking is about 15 years behind the rest of the world. You're so busy trashing the 7th century that you completely missed the 21st. In 2011, researchers at Columbia University proved that the human skeleton isn't just a frame, it's a powerful endocrine organ. They discovered a hormone called osteocalcin that is released directly by our bones. This hormone is the master switch for male fertility. It travels through the blood and signals the Leydig cells in the testes to produce testosterone. No signal from the bones, no testosterone, no reproduction. This is why legends like Arnold Schwarzenegger and the world's elite bodybuilders are living proof of this link. The denser and stronger your backbone, your sulb, the more your skeleton signals your body to be fertile and strong. It's a biological axis that is specific to males who. So here is the irony. The apostate prophet calls the Quran ignorant for linking the backbone to fertility. But while he's stuck in a 2nd century anatomy textbook, the Quran was describing a hormonal reality that science only just confirmed. How could an illiterate man in the desert 1400 years ago know that the skeleton regulates the male reproductive system? You can call it a coincidence to save face apostate prophet, but the data doesn't lie. The Quran wasn't copying a mistake, it was waiting for science to catch up. One of you is definitely outdated, and it isn't the book,